What's up, guys? My name is Rachel, and I'm the CEO of MindStrong Fitness, a multi-six-figure, soon-to-be seven-figure, purely online business that I grew 400% in under 8 months. And the purpose of this content is to teach you to do the exact same thing, but in much less time. So today we're going to talk about one of the biggest things that I see coaches or any kind of entrepreneur. This is much bigger than health and fitness coaches. One of the biggest mistakes they make that is literally leaving money on the table. If you've ever followed someone on Facebook or on Instagram and they work anywhere in the coaching world, again, I'm talking in the context of health and fitness. This is true of name your business, yoga, business coaching, whatever it is. Typically, what you'll see is some kind of launch, right? Typically, business owners, especially in the online world, what we do is called launches. So there's some kind of build up, and then the cart opens, and now enrollment for their program opens up. It's open for anywhere from a week to 3 weeks, depending on the company. Then it closes. There's a bit of rest time, and then the whole cycle starts again. What the vast majority of people are doing when they're newer to this, you will never see someone who is crushing it in the online business world who does not do what we're talking about today. But what most people who are newer to this do is they do everything I just described, but they don't do this one key element that is literally leaving cash on the table. So let me give you an example. We'll use our own program. MindStrong Ignite is our 12-week signature coaching program. It opens every 12 weeks. Leading up to Ignite, we do a 5-day free challenge called MindStrong Kickstart. Kickstart is an intense week. It's 5 days of more content than you will see most coaches give out for free. We do 90-minute live workshops every day of Kickstart. The next week is interviews with alumni. It is so much content slammed into a week and then a follow-up week. The cart opens for Ignite. Enrollment's open for a week and a half. It closes. It doesn't open again for 12 weeks. Now, here's what happens. And this too, when I first started, let me tell you, if you talk to my best friends and my family about this, they can tell you Rachel 101, when Rachel started this, the panic that used to set in until I learned what we're about to talk about today. And I recognize I'm giving a big build up to this, but the best way I can explain it is through this example. So we do Kickstart. Days 1 and 2 are all content. There's no sales pitch yet. You got to develop a relationship. You need to get them to know what's coming. After day 3, the cart for Ignite opens up. So day 3, we do our Ignite workshop, there our Kickstart workshop, doors open for Ignite, they get the sales pitch, boom, we do some kind of offer for the first few people that sign up. In that first night of cart open, the norm for us is to get anywhere, as of the time of this recording, this could change over the years as we still, we're always gathering data, tweaking and adjusting. By the way, if you haven't listened to the failure conversation, go listen to that, because data is your best friend as an entrepreneur, even if you don't consider yourself a quote unquote math person. So in that first cart open day, we get anywhere from 3 to 8 enrollments. And that is not a lot of enrollments, right? In the scheme of what we're building, we're in a multi-six-figure, we're about to be a 7-figure business. 3 to 8 enrollments is not enough for our business to stay afloat. I call those first 3 to 8 the people who would sign up no matter what. Like, those people were chomping at the bit, knocking on my door. It didn't matter what the sales pitch was. They were buying that day. Now, Ignite stays open from that day 3, that Wednesday, until the following Friday. So it's a week and a half. So what typically happens is we get those 3 to 8 the first day. By the end of that first week, we'll get another, we'll call it 10. Okay. Then the next week, if we didn't do anything, the next week we would get a few trickling in. And then at the very last moment, when people realize, oh crap, the cart's about to close, we get a big rush at the very end. And then over the weekend, when it's officially closed, we get more people trying to sneak in after it's been closed. The part that most young business owners are not doing is in that second week. And I'm saying second week, and this is just our time frame. That does not mean that this is the time frame of your business. But the point is, when you open up your cart, so to speak, as it's called in the online business world, when you open up your cart, what most young business owners are doing is they think the world is chomping at the bit, waiting for their launch to happen, right? We talked about this in an earlier episode. I think it was the same failure one, actually, where we are so inundated with this launch. We are living and breathing this launch. We are working 8 to 23 hours a day on this launch, that in our minds, the world is waiting with bated breath for our doors to open. So when we open the doors
and we get 3 to 8 enrollments. Or when you're new, maybe you get 0 enrollments the day it opens. We go straight to this failed, right? Nobody wants my program. Nobody signed up. This was a flop. I should just give up. The reality is, I mean, we've been doing this for years at this point. Again, we've built into a multi six-figure business. And I don't say that to brag, because to us, that is just dipping the toe in the water. Like, we're still gaining momentum. That is not where MindStrong Fitness is going to be in a few years. But I say that because we are not getting massive numbers the day the cart is open yet. Now, at some point in the future, our business will. Like, our goal, our vision, what we're working towards is that we have done such a great job with our wait list and our promotion and our reach that it is like floodgates on a dam, that when they open, we sell out overnight. We're not there yet. We're still in the phase of getting 3 to 8 enrollments for that first day as of the time of this recording. And we've still managed to build a multi six-figure business. And the reason is, once we've accepted this pattern, once we've said, cool, those 3 to 8, they're almost bonuses. Those are people who are signing up no matter what. The work begins, the magic begins. What this episode is about begins in what happens after that. It's in the follow-up. If you ever watch basketball, I'm not a huge basketball person, but this always makes me think of this analogy, right? The teams who just keep going for 3-pointers and don't rush the basket after they shoot to get the rebound, they're not scoring. You can't win a game off of 3-pointers alone. Once you shoot, your ass better be running straight towards that basket so that you can get the rebound and get the ball back in case it didn't go in. And it is the exact same thing here. Most young business owners are just 3-pointer, 3-pointer, 3-pointer without ever rushing that basket to try to get the follow-up. When you launch, when you open your cart, again, the world was not waiting with bated breath. There's studies that, I mean, I've heard statistics anywhere from 12 to 24 touch points, that when people are new to your business, especially, they don't know you. They don't trust you. Business is all about trusting, especially at higher price points. No one is giving you their money because you have a great personality, or because you're gorgeous, or because your mom says that you're a sparkly unicorn. Nobody's giving you their money until they trust you. Now, for some people, those first 3 days of Kickstart were enough of a trust factor. Most of them either already knew us, or they have friends or family. This is why referrals, by the way, are the lifeblood of your business. And we'll do a whole episode on that. But they already have friends and family who are living, breathing proof. So their trust factor was already there. But if they're new to this, if they're what we call a cold audience, there's warm audiences and cold audiences. If they're a cold audience, 3 days is not enough trust yet. Hell, the full 2 weeks of Kickstart is not enough trust. We have people who go through Kickstart 3 times till they're ready to buy. And we're working on that. Part of what we work on is, how do we build that trust factor faster than that? But what we need to be doing is rushing that basket for the follow-up. Your cart open is the 3-pointer. We're shooting big, and it's going to land some. In the beginning, it might not, but eventually it will. But what are you doing after that? For most young business owners, the answer is nothing. They're opening their cart, nobody's signing up, and they're saying, well, shit, this failed. I suck at this. You just started, right? You shot the 3-pointer. The game is not over. Now is in the follow-up. So what we spend that next week and a half doing is just having conversation after conversation after conversation. Week 2 of Kickstart, I live in my DMs and in my email. There are mass emails going out, right? We have our pre-scheduled sales emails, but it's one-to-one conversations. Hey, you know what? We have a list. I'll tell you behind the scenes what we do. We make a list of everyone we see that was super active in Kickstart, but hasn't signed up for Ignite yet. And we go through that list one at a time. This is time consuming. This is energy consuming, but it's beautiful because you get to form human connection. And that's the base of business. I get to know these people one-to-one. My coaches get to know these people one-to-one. And eventually, I mean, we won't always do this when we're in the 8-figure business world. I can't imagine that we're still working the same way. Maybe we are, right? Maybe at that point we have more and more people whose job is to solely do this. But right now, even as a multi 6-figure business, this is what we are doing. We are spending the time DMing someone saying, hey, I noticed you were super active in Kickstart. You didn't sign up for Ignite. Can you let me know what's going on? And you'll get answers from all over the spectrum, right? We already know the most common ones. I can't afford it. And at that point, you have a conversation. Is it a money mindset? Is it a scholarship opportunity? What's going on with them? Sometimes the answer is just, oh man, like I fell behind on videos. I'm planning to catch the replays next week. I'm super interested. Cool. I make a note that they're a person to follow up with. Sometimes it's, yeah, I really, really want to. I'm nervous, man. Like I'm nervous. It's a bunch of money. I've invested in myself so many times. I can't bring myself to do another. I love those answers because that's when you get to step into your power. That is when you get to validate. I hear you. I understand that you've spent more money than you care to count on diets. This is literally the last time you will ever invest in your health, because what we are doing is not selling you a diet. What we are doing is giving you an education that's going to last a lifetime. You give them the whole spiel, because if you have set your prices and you stand in your power behind them, you will live and breathe these conversations. But what most young entrepreneurs are doing is they're not doing any of this, right? They think that the launch is the cart open, come to me, right? We just stand here and say, everyone come to me and buy. And it's never going to work like that, especially in your first few years, until you've built a brand that people recognize, until people are literally chomping at the bit for your floodgates to open. That's not how it's going to work. It takes those follow-ups. It takes those individual conversations. It takes getting to know people that may not even buy from you at that point, right? I don't go into these conversations with my horse blinders on saying, how many people can I get into Ignite? I go into it with sheer curiosity. It's interesting that person was so active but didn't sign up. I wonder what the roadblock is. And more often than not, when people can tell, this is a hashtag bigger life statement, when people can tell you are genuine, that you're at the end of the day, what you truly want is for them to have this transformation, to experience this, to learn this skill and get off the yo-yo diet train in our case, they'll stick around. Doesn't mean they're going to buy from you that moment. But if the answer is like, it's sincerely not the right time, but I love what you're doing, cool, hang out in our Facebook group. I'll always end, if I know it's a no-go in that moment, I always make sure that they're in our Facebook group. So we call it nurturing. I can nurture the hell out of them. Let me give you so much free content. Let me just build trust with you, because you're going to get steps you can take on your own. You're going to build momentum. And at the end of the day, you're going to be the person they come to when they are ready. It is not always about, it is never, in fact, in our case, it is never about the hard sell. And I'm going to drive this home a bit because this is important. This is the same reason, if you didn't listen to the episode about discounts, go back and listen to that. There is no hard sell for the reason that there are no discounts. Because when you get people in who don't want to be there, who are there because you've pressured them into it, they are not going to put the work in. Those are the people who are not only going to drop off and hurt your reputation, those are the people who are then going to go back and bitch about how much money they paid you and they didn't get results. All that's doing is hurting your business. When you develop relationships, when you nurture someone, when you build that trust, the goal is to get them to a place where they can't wait to be in your program because they are truly ready. And one of the best ways you can do that is looking at your full cart open experience as a way to develop those relationships. Now, don't get me wrong, we are selling, right? We need, I could help maybe 10 people in this world if I didn't make a living off of this. If I didn't charge enough money, my time, my energy, everything, my finances would be consumed somewhere else and I couldn't show up fully for other people. We charge the level that we do because we know what we're offering. We know the amount of money it takes to offer that. We know the time, energy it takes to offer that. We stand in the power behind it. And to do that, we need to sell. So I don't say any of this to say that you should ever be standoffish in your selling. No, like we will flat out tell people you have two choices right now. You can continue to do what you've always done. One of my favorite expressions is you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. That is your choice, right? You can hang up from Kickstart. You can go back to your point systems, your shake systems. That is your prerogative. And you know where that's going to lead. Your other choice is to do something new, to do something scary, to take a leap, to feel that sting and invest in yourself and know that you are breaking the cycle, that you're going to take this leap. You're going to take some time to learn a new skill and you will literally never diet again. Those are the only two choices you have right now. So which one are you going to make? When I say it's not a hard sell, we are not pressuring people who don't want to do this, who aren't ready to do it, but we are making it very clear that this is the program you need if you want to make a change. But for today's purposes, the big takeaway is don't be like most of these beginning business owners where they do a launch, they get frustrated, they think failure is the end, and they say, well, no one signed up. That's the end of it. That was literally the first step of the staircase. Like you have a whole staircase in front of you until the cart closes. And that staircase involves reaching out, following up, and developing those personal relationships, because trust is how you build a business. And sometimes that trust, it's not enough for people to build it in a group format. Sometimes they need that one-to-one contact whether that's with you in the beginning. If you're new, it's probably going to be with you. As you grow, maybe that's with your salespeople, with your coaches. Whether you decide to delegate that out, that's probably a later conversation depending on where you are at your business. But understand, just like that basketball player, if you're just shooting threes and hoping for the best, your business is never going to get off the ground. You got to be rushing the net. You got to be doing the follow up, because that's what builds businesses, and that's what gets you the money that you're otherwise leaving on the table.